good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success talk show. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise and empower women professionals to step into their most authentic personal brand to gain lucrative opportunities. And we do that by focusing on 4 different areas: appearance, behaviors, communication skills, and digital presence. Because from what I have known over so many years, is that when you can master these 4 different areas, you can pretty much get whatever you want. Okay. So I am a professional keynote speaker. I am a 4-time author. I'm also a certified image consultant, personal brand expert, and a United States Air Force veteran. So 30 years of service in the Air Force, and I leverage what I learned now as I am a business owner. And it has been such a great experience. I'm just having loads of fun. And I created 2 talk shows, this one and the Rise and Slay Morning Show, which is on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I like to talk, y'all, and I have a lot to share. And I said, hey, you know what? What an opportunity to leverage these platforms, because we can pretty much create opportunities for ourselves here from a digital way. So if you are here, okay, tonight, please let me know by putting in your name, where you're streaming in from, because you know I love to give you the shout out. You could be anywhere because there's football going on. I know that some have kids and are trying to get ready for the week. And so there's so many other things. And so you decided to spend a little bit of time for us tonight to see who's on the show that is living life on their own terms using the Slay philosophies. That's right. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it and nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym, which stands for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me the most. And so I'm extra, so I had to make into an acronym, and they stand for Stay Ready to Be Ready, because it's better to be prepared for an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Lead out loud, because again, as a leader, and we are all leaders in our own right, we have to take some responsibility and accountability, and to make sure that we are the example. A sense of community, a sense of family, because it requires people, okay? When you are setting out for goals, to achieve goals, most of the times you can't do it all by yourself. So you have to have a strong support system, a community, family, if you will, that will help you to get there. And last but not least, you are built to last, because having the right mindset of resiliency to push through challenges, to overcome obstacles and barriers that you may be facing, it's so important in our everyday lives, not only from a personal standpoint, but from a professional standpoint. So tonight I have a special guest, okay? You are all in for a treat, and we're going to have a conversation that you do not want to miss. So if you are here and you've got friends, please make sure that you share, okay? Because sharing is caring. And also grab a drink and beverage of your choice. I have water, all right, because I need water more than I do anything else nowadays. Grab a pen and grab a piece of paper, because we are going to go into these lessons, because my guest has got a lot of lessons learned, and we're going to learn from her. My guest tonight is Mia Anderson, okay? She is a real estate consultant, and for over 2 decades, Mia Anderson has been the trusted guide for thousands of individuals and families realizing their dreams of home ownership. Navigating through market fluctuations, rising home prices, inventory challenges, and myriad personal decisions, Mia has expertly steered each client through the complexities of buying and selling real estate. As an award-winning realtor, Mia's excellence is recognized across Central Maryland. Voted Best Residential Realtor by What's Up Magazine for 2 consecutive years, she's also honored among Maryland's top 300 realtors by Chesapeake Real Producers, and hailed as Baltimore's Best Realtor by Baltimore Magazine. Mia's achievements include receiving the prestigious Chairman's Circle Award, and beyond her professional accolades, Mia is deeply engaged in the community. She serves as a board member for the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce and proudly sponsors their quarterly blood drives, ensuring crucial local support. She's an avid gardener. Mia delights in sharing stories about her vegetable garden and her award winning May Day baskets. So, whether you're a first time home buyer preparing to sell a cherished family home, relocating to this area, DMV, y'all, or navigating life's transitions, Mia Anderson is your advocate. Her commitment extends far beyond settlement, offering support with every detail from scheduling services like carpet cleaning and painting to ensuring a smooth and stress-free move. Throughout the process, Mia safeguards your interests and provides personalized attention that makes you feel like her only client. Okay, y'all. So give it up for my friend, okay, my great friend, because we met and I was like, yes, queen. We are going to be really good friends here throughout this journey. So welcome to the stage, Mia. How you doing?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so good. And
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having
happy.
me.
Yes. Well, listen, okay. When you find like minded women and you're just like, wow, from the first time that we met, I knew that I was like, you know what? I got to be part of her life some way, somehow. I don't know how this is going to happen, but you are amazing. And so I would not want any other, other way besides you being here, just to have a conversation about who you are, what you do, and how you do it. And so, thank you so much for your yes.
Absolutely. This
So,
is
we
my
do have,
season of yes, I think.
yes. Did you hear that, y'all? This is her season of yes. And we're going to be talking about that because
Okay.
sometimes we're not quite there. But when we get there, we're just like, you know what? We're going to put all our eggs in this basket and we're going to get after it. So we have Chevy Mack, who's here with us this evening live. So thank you so much for being here with us, Chevy. And you know what? I just want you to share with the audience a little bit about yourself outside of what I read, because what I read was like, I was like, man, this woman's on fire. And just give the audience a little bit of insight to who you are and how you do it.
As you said, I've been selling real estate for um, over 22 years. I learned real estate from my father. There is nobody more committed to your success than your dad. And
Mm,
so it was, that was something that he saw in me that I really didn't think was my jam.
yeah.
Um, my story for starting real estate is my dad was an aerospace engineer who put himself through school selling real estate. And that's how he met my mom. And he asked her out repeatedly, and she said no. But eventually she said yes, because here I am.
Right.
Um, so after he went to doing his engineering, the real estate business he had built, my mom worked. So I grew up running around a brokerage. And it wasn't until I had a life change in my early 30s that I was open to it. Um,
Mm,
and I worked with my dad. That's who I learned from. So, and at that point, he had retired and went back to real estate. So that's my work story. I'm a mom. I have an amazing son. He is my heartbeat. He will be 26 in February. Um, I could not be more proud. He's a homeowner,
right.
young person owning a home, and he did it on his own.
Mm,
So really proud of that. Um, I love serving my community. That's something I learned from my dad as well. He was a servant leader. So I love that. That's I love. I do, and I love digging in the dirt. I have been growing since I was at 5. I won my first award for gardening. I could grow a tomato, and even as a little girl, I would stand there with my perfect tomato, and yeah. So
Wow.
I've been digging in the dirt a long time. It's a healing. It's really good.
Yeah. You know, there's so much that you already shared that we're, somewhat familiar or have this familiarity about. And one of those is that our dads can be the greatest super fans for us, right? And
Yes.
they see it in us before we even see it in ourselves. And my dad was the same. I followed in his footsteps, if you will, and went into the military. Even though that wasn't a conversation that we had until I came home and I said, "Hey, I just signed up to go in the military." And he's like, "What?" And then you talk about your son, and I'm also a boy mom. And so having that relationship and then understanding, like, he went and did what you are, like, you had planted the seeds there, the family line, the
Mhm.
lineage, your dad, you, and you said your mom was also in real estate.
Yes. So my
Yeah.
mom was a special ed teacher by trade. And but she ran a real estate office
Wow.
with
That is just
little crumb
amazing.
crunchers running around too.
Yeah. Man, it's just so much in that. And I thank you for sharing. And I know that really resonates with our audience as well. And Chevy even says, wow, 22 years of real estate. Congratulations, Mia.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
is a feat in itself because
I
I know
started
that.
at 2, by the way. I started at age 2.
Right. Let's make sure. Let me get this age right. But yeah, I agree. I mean, like, sometimes we don't see it until we get there and we're like, wow. And this has been your career and this is what you're really good at. I mean, just based on what I read, you have won lots of awards. You've been recognized for your hard work. And I think that servant leadership, that servant heart has really gotten you to, a lot of different opportunities where you can showcase that. And then when he said you were playing in the dirt, you reminded me of Martha Stewart because we just went and saw Martha Stewart the other day. And, I don't know if you watched her Netflix documentary, but she's got an amazing, like,
Yeah.
her whole yard, or her estate, I should say estate, y'all. Her estate is just full of all these plants that she's planted, and she's very big on that. So that's where my mind went into. So I love what you have done. And, we had a pre-conversation before
Me too.
we got on tonight. And it was so intriguing to me that I thought that we could share that with our audience about going into the year 2025. First of all, I can't believe we're here. All right, we're almost there, right? A couple more weeks and we are in the new year. But she started to talk to me a little bit about how you're going to approach 2025, even with all the things you've already accomplished, right? So just tell us a little bit about that and then we'll just dig in.
Okay. So everybody sets goals for, the new year, new quarter. It can be just you set goals. And I thought I wanted to maximize my opportunity to reach my goals. So, I mean, everybody sets them. Why do some people make them and other people don't? Why do some people just not achieve them? And I really kind of dug deep, and I'm like, I have the tools, I need to use them. So I set my business goals, but then I am now building the habits
Mm.
to reach the goal. So it's great to say, I want to do this, this, and this, but until I like shore it up with some activities, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a contact management system, a relationship management system, a CRM. That, and I admitted this to you. I've had it for some time, and I haven't fully utilized it. So, in preparing for 2025, I'm like, if I want um, success on a bigger level, I need to
Mm.
do some things differently. So the
Yes.
tools I have, I'm using. So I have, and I keep looking that way because I have my CRM up.
Yep.
And what I like about this one is it breaks down my activities. So I need to make, 28 phone calls this week. It's literally itemized down the list of what activities I need to do. But what I really realized I needed to do is I needed to make it possible to do it.
Mm.
So I have a list of habits to break and habits to make.
Yep.
And then I have like my 5 kind of key things I need to do each day to
Yeah.
be effective and to do it. And then I check off each day if I do it or not.
Yeah.
And I have this as we I told you I got to win the day, which is
Yeah.
doing the activities of that day. And then if I do that every day, then I win the week.
Yeah.
Um, and not to jump ahead to the good parts, but if Mia doesn't win the day, Mia doesn't get wine. Okay. Wine is for winners. That's my new thing. Wine is for winners. Win the day if you want to have some wine at night. And I have had days that I win and I don't have the wine, but for me, it's knowing I can have it.
That's right.
So that's what that's about.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm working my habits. I have a habit tracker.
Yeah.
Um, because with all of the activities in work, with all of my, philanthropic things I'm doing, with trying to be a friend to my friends
Yeah.
and trying to love my young man, there's a lot going on. And some days you think you've done so much, but you really haven't. You haven't
Mhm.
targeted your activities that you needed to do.
Yeah.
So this is it's things I've done, but I'm taking it to another level this year and trying to make it so that I'm doing these things and I don't have to think about it. A habit's really good if it's a habit you've worked and repeated and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So if I can take those things off my mind and um, I can have the bandwidth for other things.
Yeah. I absolutely love how, first of all, like taking it to the next level. This is really when you've already been highly successful in a certain way, but you're looking for different things, right? And it is truly by what we do every single day. And then Chevy says we have so many resources that we don't utilize. We have to do things differently, and it starts with consistent habits. Absolutely. Like what we create every day, like what we do, sets the tone for what's going to happen in the future. And one of the things that you shared, one of the other thing, many things, but one of the things that I want to pull a thread on just a little bit are what are the habits that you have decided that you needed to break? Let's start there and then we'll go on to the next.
I have my list.
Yes, I know.
So, and these are just what I felt like were my immediate things I had to change. My habits to break: watching reality TV. That's out.
Listen,
Um, it's
look,
over.
I'm guilty, y'all. I was watching Ultimatum all the way up until the time we got up on this show today while I was
So,
working.
but look, everybody has their thing, and so for me, the desire was to have something mindless, just
Yeah.
something playing in the background when I'm doing things. And what I decided is, I love like the Brene Brown podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having like crazy people in the background
Right.
of my life, I
Right.
can have Brene Brown. Like I was hardly listening to it because I was cooking, but I was catching some things.
Right.
So it's just, what do I want my backdrop to be? You know,
Mm.
so I don't have to be like poised and taking notes, but just when I need noise, make it good noise.
Yeah. So
My next one is
I'm
this is
writing that down.
my next one, and this hurts. This is a pain point. Ordering from DoorDash.
Mm.
I need to stop that foolishness. I have food. Okay. I have food. I don't need to do that all the time. It's pure laziness sometimes. So I want to stop doing that. Um,
Okay.
because I eat differently when I order from DoorDash,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
What do you normally order? Wait, before you move on, what do you normally order from DoorDash?
so there is this barbecue place called The Hideaway.
Oh yeah, my husband goes there almost every Friday. Mm-hmm.
Well, so they know my address.
Oh,
Okay. They know my address. They
they
know me.
know yeah, they know the name, they know the card number and everything. It's like
Yeah.
ready.
Yes. She's ordering. So they have really good, and I'm not going to dive down this rabbit hole because I'm not trying to order from them tonight. But they have just, it's also delicious. And I love smoked meats and I love barbecue. So my son has a Traeger. I got that for him for his housewarming. So instead of me buying
Mm-hmm.
Hideaways smoked
Mm-hmm.
meats, I
Yeah.
just have now, I'm keeping meat in the fridge so that
Yeah.
he can smoke meats.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, yeah,
Um,
that's a trade-off. I love that.
yeah, and then I'm not getting that side of cornbread that Mama doesn't need, you know. So,
Yeah, that them starches, boys.
oh yeah, they get you quick.
they
They attach to the hips real quick.
they do, and they add it automatically. You don't even ask for it; it just comes with. And so it's like, oh,
It's too good.
thank
It's
you. I
too
can
good.
eat this too, right? Oh no.
Um, so purchasing non-essential items,
Uh huh.
late night snacking. And here's one, and this is it presents a lot of different ways. Wasting resources, which
Mm-hmm.
is people and time, you know, and
Amen.
things that we pay for that we don't use.
Mm-hmm.
But here's one: missing opportunities to show gratitude and saying thank you.
Ah,
So I think we verbalize thank you a lot, but I'm going to be sending out many more notes just to say thank you, because sending it in a handwritten note is 7 times more impactful than just the words.
yeah,
So those are that's what I wanted to break. And then the things that I want to make, which would facilitate me meeting my goals and my habits, are reading 10 pages of a growth book daily.
mm,
And that can be, and I'm an Audible girl because I'm always in
yeah,
the car.
yeah.
Read 30 minutes of industry related articles a day. If I'm going to be at the top of my game, I need to know it all, or at
Mm,
least know the people to fill in the gaps when I don't. Um, I'm gonna make my phone calls, do my note cards, um, follow up, follow through. Um, I want to be a storyteller
yeah.
with my work,
Mm,
because I help a lot of people. But if
yeah,
I don't tell the stories, then people who need me don't know potentially that I can help them. So I
yeah,
want to be a better storyteller, um, so that I can be an advocate for people who might need my help.
yeah. You know, I just absolutely love the detail. I love the way that you're approaching this. And again, this is leveling up. All right. And here on Slay to Success, that's what we do. Okay. We don't just stick to the normal. We're not basic. Okay. We're not operating from mediocrity. All right. So understanding where you're at right now and then making the changes necessary to get you to where you want to go. And so Heather, of course, she's here. Hey, Queen. And she says, preach, because there's so much in it that, we can gain from this and learn and start to do. So back in 2000, I think it was, yeah, 2000, I quit smoking. There's like, sometimes people take the steps, like they
Mhm.
wean themselves off. Instead of having 10 cigarettes one day, they have, 8, and then they kind of dwindle down. Well, I decided to go cold turkey. I decided one day, hey, I'm just going to throw these cigarettes in the trash. I'm done with it. They're not serving me well or whatnot. And I haven't smoked since. And that's been, again, so 25, almost 25 years now. So I'm sharing that because, I did it like cold turkey. So what is your approach going to be for these habits? Are you just going to just start? Have you already started? Or what is your plan to achieve, these habits or whatever that you're trying to create for yourself? You going to go in all the way, or are you just
Oh, I'm
gradual?
not in. No, I'm all in. So, I
You're
mean,
all in.
what I want to do is I want to be strong before January hits. So I'm doing
Mm,
the work now because it's repetition,
yeah,
that it's not like, oh, it takes 21 days to build a habit. If you do something twice in 21 days, it's not a habit. It's
right.
the repetition of things. So
Hmm.
I'm doing it over and over and over. I'm doing what it takes. So, I actually completed my numbers for the week on some of my tasks days in advance,
Hmm.
but I kept doing them anyway so that I have the practice and the repetition that
Yeah,
I'm going to do this every day. Even if I pass the goal, you keep going.
yeah.
Um, some of the other ways that I am making sure I'm going to hit my target is to systematize almost everything.
Mm.
So, um, even the most basic of things. So I have insomnia. Anybody who knows me knows I struggle with the sleep.
Mhm.
And I do take a sleep aid. But many times I am distracted and it's midnight and I haven't taken it. So I'm up.
Mhm.
So one of the things I've done is and put in place is I take that medicine at this time every night. I go to bed at this time every night. I wake up this time every day. So
Mm.
the more I can take off my mind, the
Yeah.
better. So it's making it easier to do a habit is is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Um, taking some of my own personal stumbling blocks out of the way. Um, I think when you have to do a task, sometimes it's like, oh, I want to do it perfectly. Well, no, I don't have to do it perfectly. I have to do it.
Mm.
So do it.
Yeah.
You get better as you go, just do it.
Yeah.
So, I have in the past, I felt like, oh, I need to have the perfect script. I want to, I struggle with being a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And
I think most of
sometimes
us do.
but it can be paralyzing.
Yes. Agreed.
Um, and so it's just jump on in already,
Yeah.
And so that is, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it,
That's
you
right.
know?
You
And
have to.
some days it's prettier than others, but
Mhm.
I'm doing my, I frequently had time blocking in my calendar.
Mhm.
So there was the time for it, but those activities maybe didn't take precedence because I was doing other things. But now, to make sure I get these things done, because I have a set time that getting up every morning, that is what I do first. Do it
Mhm.
first
Yeah.
because it's the most important. And these are business building activities. So if I get those done first, then I can do my appointments, I can do whatever. And the the building block things have gotten done, so
Yeah.
that it's not like I got so busy I didn't do it. And then, those things that bring the business to you, if you get too busy to do them, you know, then there's ebbs and flows and dips and valleys, and we have that anyway in business. But why
Mm.
would I want to exacerbate those? So I've got to do the things that I will always do what comes next.
Yeah.
Do what comes next, Mia. You know,
Yeah.
so
And
it's
I
regulating
love,
myself.
huh?
It's regulating myself.
Yeah. Which is a hard thing for us to do because this is like we're holding ourselves accountable for
Yes.
what the things that we said that we were going to do. And I know we talked a little bit about that. Sometimes you feel the guilt and a sense of, uh, you know, uh, what do you call that? Like I didn't get what I needed to get done. So that means I just stopped doing all the things, right? This can never happen. And the other thing that, you are alluding to is you are starting now. We're not waiting until 2025, okay, to start up these habits that we need as we go into the new year. And also knowing that these things take time. So when we get started into our habits and our routine and we stop and we're right there, we're like so close to things changing. Like how in that moment are you going to feel? You know?
Well, and I think in our previous conversation, we likened it to an ice cube melting.
Yeah.
When you're at 20 degrees, it's nothing's happening. You go up incrementally. And by the time you hit 32 degrees, you might be tired
Mhm.
and nothing's happened, but you're right
Mhm.
on that cusp. So it is, you keep doing the activities and I think this is really important. You play through the goal. You don't
Yeah.
stop when you get there. You keep playing through it.
Yeah.
Um, because that's, I feel frequently like, we give up right at that point when we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Um, so I am by no means, I don't know everything, but I know that I know what I want, and
Mm.
deciding what am I willing to do to get it.
Yeah.
Because, um, I feel like 2025 is going to have some amazing opportunities. And a friend of mine said this to me the other day. There are few things more precious than opportunity
Mm.
in all manners of our life, all aspects of our life. So when the opportunities come, I want to be ready.
Yes.
I want to be ready.
Hey, listen, y'all, you know how I am about it. I just spoke to it as the intro was going on about, being prepared for an opportunity, and not looking back and said I coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is the time where we amp up just a little bit, we dig deep, and we decide to make a decision about what direction we want to go into and strategize, because that's what you're doing, Mia, is you're creating a strategy for yourself as to how you're going to get there. And it's going to require a lot of effort. It's going to require, a lot of adjustments and making sure that you are meeting your marks. And, you know, those analytics are going to tell you each and every day where you're at and if that is actually working, because then you'll have time to adjust and do something a little bit differently if it's not, right?
Agreed. Agreed.
So, like this is an ongoing assessment. This is a real time document that you are creating for yourself, a CRM, where it's like I have everything. And when you told me that you even have it down to what you're going to wear that particular day, like that's what you were doing prior, I was like, mm-hmm, that's what we do it.
Yeah. I have a calendar for 6 weeks out. I know what I'm wearing for the next 6 weeks to every event, so that it doesn't matter if I get home and I've got 20 minutes. You go to the closet, you pull it out, you put it on. But it's, again, it's taking things off my plate so I don't have to think about them.
That's right.
I don't want to have to think about what I'm going to wear. I really, honestly, I don't want to think about what I'm going to eat. I don't. I just like, what can we make? There was, this is so funny to say. There was one year that I ate the same thing for lunch for a year because
Really?
I didn't want to have to deal with it. I'm not, you know, there are some people who are going to go find food. I'm really not. I will give up. So if I take
Right.
this, just take this little thing that I can have, now as I say that, I will fall down into a pile of cheesecake in a heartbeat,
Right.
but,
Who wouldn't?
going and finding my own lunch, no.
You
So
know,
and these are things too that I have to be mindful of, and that's like what I'm eating,
yeah.
because I am of the mindset that I will behave in my eating so I can work out less. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we were just talking, me and Chevy were just talking about exercise routines, and I love to work out. So that's one of my things. It helps me with this mindset that I got going on, builds me up and gives me the confidence that I need to take on different things. But when you were talking about the eating, I'm also a creature of habit. I eat about the same foods almost every day, unless again you present like carrot cake or chocolate cake or something crazy, and I'm just like, oh no, But for the most part, and I eat well because I know what it's going to take. I know the energy that I need to put in to build the business, to take care of the household, to, you name it. And it all matters because our energy levels can get completely drained. And this plan that we make for ourselves, it's for naught. It's like, yeah, I don't have it in me to do it. So everything that we do, it all matters at the end of the day,
And
especially when you're leveling up.
well, and here's something, and I know because you're busy and you volunteer a lot and do a lot of charitable work.
Yeah.
We work our work days,
Yeah.
and then there's a whole other day on the back end of the workday. And so that is why, it's eating, even if it's just like a healthy snack. Like, I always have granola bars and nuts and like my
Mhm.
favorite tea bags. I'm like an old lady. I have
Yeah.
like tea bags in my purses. But but having that stuff, that'll just give you that little boost to keep you going,
Yeah.
to get through an event. And we're at events together, and
Mhm.
we're hustling and working and making sure everybody else is taken care of. And
Yep.
so in those moments that we have to ourselves, that's when we have to really take the time and make sure that the day doesn't go by without feeding ourselves,
Yeah.
feeding our hearts, feeding our minds, but feeding ourselves physically is really important too. And I've spoken by the woman who, if my son was sitting here next to me, he would be like, because I am, um, that is a struggle for me. It is a
Yeah.
struggle, but I can recognize that, and I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I can, some of this other stuff, I mean, I can do it all day long, but um, getting a healthy, I don't do 3 square meals. It just doesn't happen. So if
Yeah.
I get a couple in, it's good.
Yeah. Well, everything doesn't as necessarily have to be, such in a way where it's perfect. I'm a recovering perfectionist as well, because in the military, like if you didn't dot the I's and cross the T's, all the time. You were seen as, not being as proficient, your performance level, da 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 da. So anyway, I've had to back off of that and give myself permission to let things happen as they do. I'm going to get to about 80%. Okay. I get something to 80%, and that other 20%, maybe there's a lesson that I need to learn in that, or something that I could do differently next time that I never thought of before. But I am not trying to pressure myself anymore in that type of thinking, because it led me down the path of, like you said, analysis paralysis, where I would sit behind a computer and I look at something for like 2 hours, and then I would like make sure all the things, and then at the end of the day, half the time I sent stuff, nobody was even paying attention to it. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I was stressing out for no reasons at all, right? And so we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace, as we are moving in to getting to the next level, because that's what we're talking about, y'all, is we're really thinking about all the ways that we can help ourselves to manage ourselves in a way where we can see some things differently. And this is by forming habits. All right. So we're talking about habit forming. I even like the habit contract that you made with yourself. If I don't do these 3, 4, 5 things, I don't get no wine. The consequence to this is I have no wine. Right.
So this is not my own. I love this book, Atomic Habits.
Yep.
I'm reading it the second time. I'm in my second time through it because I know that this is the vehicle by which I can meet my goals this year. I know it. If I do this, if I learn to reframe things in the ways that are like scientifically proven,
yeah,
I can do this. I can meet my goal. And so it's said that if you had the tasks that you have to do, that you need to be accountable to yourself.
yep.
It's an opportunity to authenticate what I say I believe by doing my things. And if I don't, what is going to be the consequence? And he said in the book, it needs to have teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't really know. I wonder what I could take away from myself that would make me want to do something no matter what. And I was like, wine. Wine would be it. So, since I added that little ticket up into the picture, I haven't missed my target one day yet.
That's right, because mama needs her wine.
Mama needs her wine, or mama even needs just to know that I can have it. Even if I don't drink it, I can.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's finding what for you, Rochelle, it would probably be if I don't get my stuff done, I'm not going to get to work out.
Well, I would never put that on the line. No, working out for me is a non-negotiable. So that would not be it. But it would definitely be shopping. Okay. This means I can't go to Marshall's that week. Okay. That's what it will be for me, because I'm in Marshall's a lot. I'll just put it that way. Sometimes I can go to Marshall's twice a day looking for something very specific. There's always a specific thing that I am looking for. And when I go in there, because there's a lot going on in there, I am like zeroed in. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I think about it. I go home, come home, or do my errands, whatever I'm doing. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get that, because that'll work well with this after I think about it for some time. But it would definitely be, instead of you going like 2 and 3, 4 times a week, you're only allowed to go once a week. Okay. And I think that would do wonders for me, because as you all know, like I dress up all the time. And so it is something that I would just be like anxious about. So yeah, that would be my That would be my
But
comment.
with your work as an image, so I'm going to enable just a little bit
Oh
more.
no, don't do it.
With your work as an image consultant, though, I could see how you need to be at Marshall's, especially if you're shopping for clients and making
Yeah,
sure they have what they need. So
this
maybe
is
we would
true.
have to put a qualifier on it where you won't be shopping for you.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the key. That's what it needs to be. I will not be shopping for me. I will be shopping for others, my clients, when I take them in there, because right now I see something nice and it's pink and I go, "Oh, wait a minute. That can go great with my wardrobe." And then before you know it, I got like 4 or 5 of those specific pink things and I'm like, "Why did I get all these things?" But anyway, y'all, I'm a whole extra thing. And so
you are perfect. You are perfect. You know, I have a little granddaughter. Um, um, I have a stepson who's has a child,
uh-huh.
and she says to me, she calls me Mima. She's like,
Oh,
Mima,
I love
you
that.
are a perfect and rare unicorn. She said, Rochelle,
Oh,
you are a perfect and rare unicorn.
oh. That,
You're
look,
a
you gonna make
perfect
me
and
cry
rare
on my
pink
old show,
unicorn.
y'all.
You're a pink unicorn. But yeah,
I love that. You
she's
know,
11.
oh man. I know she's probably a like a shooting star, like already
These
at
little
11.
girls are spirited, and
Yeah.
that's, you know, the difference I think between them and maybe when we were younger
Yeah.
is now it is nurtured, it's fostered, it's encouraged, and we got a
Mm,
different um, messaging when we were young. So,
we did.
you know, those are the little queens in the making, you
Yeah,
know, and
they
they're
are.
so self-confident, and I love that. I
You
love
know
that.
what? I never even, thought about it in that way until you just share that. The messaging was definitely different. So I'm glad that it's changed, because more and more girls need to hear that about themselves, right? And
Yeah.
then when they get to our age, like
They'll be
we're unstoppable.
unstoppable.
It's
Yeah.
like nothing is in our way except for our own mind and what we put in here. And so, making sure that we have the affirmations that we need to show up more confidently, show up for the people that we have been assigned to, the better off the whole world will be if everyone would take an opportunity to do that. So I absolutely love, love, love that. And I love the shares. I know our audience has taken a lot from what we have talked um, about these habits. And you said you're reading the book again and, going over some of the highlights, the takeaways. And this time, for sure that this is what's going to elevate you in 2025.
This is the game changer for me. It really is. Um, it explains so many of the challenges that
Mm.
I've had with myself,
Yeah.
you know, with knowing I want to do this, so why can't I do this? Um,
Mm.
and so changing prompts and like reassigning things, you know, even in your mind. This book is powerful, and he has like an online resources and has sheets that you can get so that you can, and he's a big on tracking yourself and
Yeah.
learning about yourself, um, so that whatever it is that you're taking on and taking in and doing subconsciously
Yeah.
is the right thing to be doing subconsciously, you know,
Right.
knowing that. So yeah, I'm like, this is probably best book I've read in a decade. I mean,
Yeah.
the impact that, you know, this is something that I needed. I can,
Yeah.
this is something that I really needed. And especially as, you know, I told you I want to grow and scale my business, and I have to have systems in place so
Yeah.
that I can have someone else and say, look, this is how you do it. This is what we do. And I don't have to be sitting there with them. I don't have to be doing all the touches. Like
Mm-hmm.
they can learn to self-manage.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like critical for my, my 5-year plan,
Yeah.
where I want to be and what I want it to look like.
Yeah. I look, y'all, I am absolutely like my mind is now open to all the things, right? Like I'm spending most of my morning tomorrow with my own way of tracking what I want to do in 2025. Like between our conversation tonight and the conversation that was going on with Martha Stewart, she did this whole fire. I mean, just the the way that she built her business, right? And how where she's at right now at the age of 83 is so remarkable to me. Like outside of her, whatever, people have said when she went to, jail for, a stint of time, outside of that and maybe some other things, you can't help but appreciate the journey of how to get to that certain point. And what she does, she works her tail off and she's been doing it for years, but she's had habits.
Yes.
She has specific habits and she has a routine of what she does every single day. Every
Yes.
single day. Without and she travels a lot, she does a lot of other things, right? So she understands when she travels, here are the things I will be doing when I travel. When I go back home, here are the things that I will be doing. So you have to be very intentional and you have to be deliberate if you want to see things differently, if you want the results, because you just can't do the same thing. Because
No.
there's a saying, right? Doing the same things over and over again is insanity. And so, yeah, yeah, Todd, that's what we're talking about. That's what we've been talking about for the
Yes.
past hour is atomic habits. And Mia has been reading it. She's reading it for the second time. I've read it before. I also listened to the audio. And the way people get to where they're at is they're not like overnight successes unless you win a lottery or, do something in that vein. But it is virtually showing up, doing the repetition, like you said, over and over and over and over again. All right. And people can't take that away from you when they see like, oh my gosh, but they know how long you've been doing it for. And of course, after a while, things are different.
And, one of the things I will say to Martha Stewart is resiliency.
Mm.
you know
Mm.
Sometimes, things just aren't going like they should, and it can be a big thing or it can be a little thing. Um i so i was traveling at Thanksgiving. First day, I had 2 trips separated by 2 days.
Mhm.
First day of the first trip, I hurt my knee,
Mm.
and I was hurting, and I was like, okay, let's figure this out. And so I was like, I can do this. And I figured out how I can do it. This is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is going to be my system of self care, because I'm doing this trip and I'm not giving anything up. And
That's
so,
right.
we have to find that way sometime to pivot. But again, it was the habits that got me through it.
Yeah.
I will ice for 20 minutes,
Mhm.
and then we're up. And then the ice goes with, you work, but it's coming up with your system of success. And that's going to be no matter what we're doing. Um, at any time, if I think I'm just changed now,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at everything in that way of habit.
Yeah.
Um, because it's like it's just the fundamental level of activity that I need to harness, as it were.
Yeah. I look, I'm here for it. I know you're gonna make things happen and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna be on the sideline just cheering on my queen. I'm like, yes, man, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Now Todd said he jumped on late, just landed. He's always traveling. Okay, always traveling. So I'm surprised that he's even on the show. But he's my Air Force brother.
Nice.
So he just bought another copy of Atomic Habits in the airport. And I think he meant I lent a copy to someone. I find a copy to someone monthly. Oh, maybe he mails or gives a copy to someone every month.
It's a great gift.
It is. I look, I I can honestly say that again, like I was saying in the beginning, I am a creature of habit. I do some things very consistently because I know what it does for me. Y'all know I wake up every day, I go downstairs and I work out before I do anything else up in here, anything else. And then I have a checklist of things, especially for business that I need to get done. And so it has helped me tremendously, not only to find out um what my the activities that I don't like doing, so that way I could one day hire someone to do those things for me, but then the things that I really enjoy and how can I make those things a little bit better. So it there's so much in it when you take on your habits, and take control.
And in the
Um,
book, he talks about habit stacking,
yeah.
which is exactly what you just explained doing, is
Mm-hmm.
you kind of mix in the things you don't want to do with the things you do want to do, and you put it in such a way that, like you said, it makes you do them, even though you really, it's not your preference, but it all
No.
has to get done. And so it's that, that reframe, um, that we do for ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're at the top of the hour, Mia, and I do want two things before we say goodbye to all our friends. Um, so one is, sharing with everyone kind of last thoughts, where we can, find the inspiration to move forward. So do you have anything else to share with our audience tonight?
Um, well, I want to lead with thank you
Oh, you're
for having me here and letting me talk about my journey and what is, my passion of growth. I have a passion for growth, and I now have a means of making it happen,
yeah.
um, in a much grander way than I've been able to execute previously. So I'm very excited. So I'm thankful for that. But one of the things that I think I'm loving, that I want you to do and everybody to do, is join me in this season of yes.
Mm,
Just say yes. Just try things. I'm traveling. I'm doing it all. If you invite me, if you invite me someplace, I just say yes. And it's so good. It's good for the heart. It's good for the spirit. I'm getting time to be with people that, sometimes I can be so singularly focused on, just, work, that I don't maybe enjoy some things.
yeah.
My season of yes is I'm here with you,
Yeah.
because I thought about doing this with you for a while, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And then I'm
You
like,
doing
yes.
amazing.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I think that all of us are ready. Many of us are ready to say yes instead of hiding or thinking it's not for me, or I'm not quite ready for what's to come if I say yes. And sometimes people are, scared of success. People just don't want to see that because they don't know. But what I would challenge, all of us to do, as you were saying that, is to get out of that mindset of what if, right? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, this could be bad, but it could also be good. Just go and try it out one time.
And
If you don't like it,
if you fall forward.
fall
Okay.
forward.
Not just yes. I love it. Say yes, go do.
Yeah,
Take the risk.
yeah, I love that. So y'all heard it from Mia. She said she's in the yes season, so we're joining her in the yes season. Sadija is here. Hey, Queen. She said this was so good. Thank you. Thank you for showing up live with us tonight. We appreciate that. And I got one last question for Mia,
Okay.
that I ask all of my guests is, what will your family and friends say about you at your 80th birthday party? What would you
So I
like them
know
to say?
I know what I want them to say.
There we go. I'm
How about
gonna
this?
change it up.
I have because one thing is I'm consistent, right?
Right.
I have written down
Oh,
my keywords that
okay.
I want. Um, I want to be stable, secure. I want to be an asset. I want to be professional, proactive, responsible, and responsive. I want to be a connector, and I want to be gracious. So I don't want to wait till I'm 80. I want this now. That's what I want now.
That's right. Look. I'm with you. Look, we want this now. We making things happen. Okay, and this is the train that you want to be on. All right, you don't want to miss out, because from here on out we are here. Okay, so if you want to be here, then you stay in touch with us. You follow us. Okay, follow Mia on all platforms. She's everywhere. Okay, so she's everywhere. And so go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram. I don't know what other platforms you're on, Queen. That's it. Okay, go. And then she's got her website, right? You have a
Yeah.
website. And so, listen, y'all, you want to be surrounding yourself by like-minded people, people who are interested in elevating themselves from a holistic approach. And so that's what we offer here. And this has been the Slate to Success talk show, where you heard it here. Okay, not anywhere else. So make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe, because we have a whole list of guests that are coming your way to make sure that you are staying inspired, and that you understand that this is the way and direction to go. So thank you so much, Mia, for being here. I just absolutely love it. We see each other at least 1 or 2 times a month, which is absolutely great, because she lives here and we're part of the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce. And so it's so good, to be connected to you and to know you. So thank you so much for your time, and for our guests. So if you are here and you put in comments, you get a shout out. All right. So Chevy, thank you so much for being here with us. Heather, of course, thank you. She is on the board of the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Queen, for being here. Todd, he is the CEO of Courageous Alliance. If you're not following him, you need to get on LinkedIn. All right, and make sure you do, because he is on the rise. And we have Sadija, who's the CEO of Sales. All right. So listen, people that show up to this community are already so willing to listen and share what they have. So this has been the Slay to Success Talk Show, y'all. And we will see you all next week. All right. Either Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Rise and Slay morning show, or on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And we will see you all very soon. Goodbye.